I never thought a mop would change my life. When my supervisor handed me the assignment, he didn't even look up from his clipboard. "Final cleanup," he said. "Old property on the hill. Developer needs it cleared before inspection." That was it. No warnings, no history, just an address. The mansion sat at the end of a cracked, overgrown road, hidden behind iron gates rusted into permanent surrender. Ivy crawled up stone walls like it was trying to pull the house back into the earth. The place looked less abandoned and more forgotten, like the world had agreed to stop remembering it. I parked my dented van beneath a dead oak tree and stepped out with my cart of supplies. Mop, bucket, gloves, rags, the tools of invisibility. I was used to it. Janitors learn early that the world sees what shines, not who polishes it. My name is Alex Rivera. I'm 46 years old, a father, a son, a widower, a janitor. I've cleaned schools after children left sticky fingerprints on desks. I've scrubbed hospitals where grief lingered in the air long after visiting hours. Cleaning isn't just work, it's listening. Every space tells a story if you pay attention. The mansion's front doors groaned when I pushed them open. Inside, silence pressed against my ears. Dust floated in pale beams of light spilling through tall windows. A grand staircase curved upward like a frozen wave. Chandeliers sagged with age, crystals dulled, but still beautiful in their exhaustion. The place smelled of old wood, stale air, and something faintly sweet, like perfume that outlived its owner. I expected trash, broken bottles, maybe squatters. Instead, I found a dining table long enough for 20 people, still set with tarnished silverware. Portraits lined the walls, men in tailored suits, women in pearl necklaces, children staring out with eyes too serious for their age. Generations frozen in oil and canvas, wealthy and certain they would never be forgotten. I began the way I always do, methodically. Sweep, mop, wipe. As I cleaned, the mansion revealed its rhythms. Floorboards creaked differently in certain rooms. One hallway was colder than the rest. A draft whispered through walls that shouldn't have breathed. By noon, I reached the music room. A grand piano sat in the center, its black surface dulled by dust. I wiped a single key and pressed it. The note rang out, soft, sad, but alive. I'd imagined children practicing scales, a mother correcting posture, a father listening with distracted pride. Families leave echoes behind. You can hear them if you're quiet. That's when my mop snagged on a loose floorboard. I frowned, kneeling. The wood shifted beneath my hand, hollow sounding. I pried it up gently, expecting rot. Instead, I found a metal latch. My heart kicked hard in my chest. "Don't be stupid," I muttered. "You're here to clean." But curiosity is stubborn. It has its own gravity. I pulled the latch. The floor panel lifted, revealing a narrow staircase descending into darkness. I stood there a long moment, mop dripping forgotten water onto the marble floor. Cleaning an abandoned luxury mansion, I expected trash, maybe a few forgotten heirlooms. What I didn't expect was a hidden compartment, and I definitely didn't expect what came next. The air below smelled older, heavier, like secrets sealed for decades. My flashlight beam cut through the dark, landing on shelves carved directly into stone walls. Boxes, ledgers, film reels, leather-bound journals stacked with care, not panic. Someone hadn't hidden these things in a rush. They'd hidden them to be found, eventually. I opened the first journal. The handwriting was elegant, controlled. The name on the inside cover read Eleanor Whitmore. I recognized the surname immediately. The Whitmores had been legends, industrial giants, philanthropists, donors to universities and hospitals. Their sudden disappearance from public life had been chalked up to private tragedy. The mansion was the last physical trace of their existence. I sat on the cold stone floor and began to read. Eleanor wrote about dinners that looked perfect from the outside, but felt hollow inside, about children raised by nannies who loved them more than their parents did, about her husband's ambitions swallowing every room he entered. Opulence is a costume. It hides the rot underneath. Letter after letter revealed fractures, siblings pitted against one another, inheritances weaponized, affection rationed like currency, a forbidden affair between a sister and her brother's wife, a child born in secret and sent away, money used to silence pain instead of healing it. This wasn't a story of monsters. It was a story of people who mistook wealth for love. As I uncovered more, I felt an ache behind my ribs. My own life rose up in contrast. Small kitchen tables, cheap meals stretched across weeks, laughter that came easily because there was nothing to protect. I thought of my mother, who raised 3 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment after my father died. She scrubbed floors like I do now, humming while she worked, reminding us that dignity didn't depend on square footage. I wiped dust from another shelf. That's when I saw the safe. It was massive, embedded into the wall, hidden behind a false panel. My hands trembled as I turned the dial, surprisingly easy, as if someone had wanted the combination remembered. The door swung open. Inside were velvet-lined trays of jewelry, stacks of bearer bonds, antique coins, and documents tied with silk ribbon. Even in my shock, I understood immediately. This wasn't just money. This was legacy money, enough to change lives, enough to ruin them. My mop slipped from my hand and clattered against the stone. Millions sat there, untouched, while the world outside struggled and hustled and broke its back just to breathe. For a long time, I
Finally
couldn't
home.
move.
We saved you some stew.
Glad you're here,
I
Dad.
went home that night
This is nice,
heavier
isn't it?
than when I arrived.
Yeah, Dad.
At
It's really
dinner,
good.
my
So glad
teenage
we're
son
together.
Mateo pushed rice
This
around
is
his
nice, isn't
plate
it?
while telling me
Yeah,
about
Dad.
school.
It's really good.
My mother
glad
sat
we're
nearby,
together.
shelling beans, her fingers moving from memory more than sight. "You're quiet," she said in Spanish. "Long day," I replied. I didn't tell them, not yet. But the mansion followed me into sleep. Faces from portraits stared back at me, voices whispered through walls. The next morning, I returned, not as a janitor, as a witness. I played old film reels found in the cellar, grainy footage of birthday parties where smiles didn't reach eyes, Christmas mornings where gifts were abundant
You
but
always
warmth
do this.
was scarce.
Let's not start this
A
again.
final
But it's
reel
always the
showed a
same.
family
Enough.
argument,
Just eat.
voices raised,
You always do this.
accusations
Let's
flying,
not start this
a
again.
vase
But it's
shattered
always the
against
same.
marble.
Enough. Just
The
eat.
last frame froze on a child crying alone in a hallway. That child, I realized, was the one sent away, the one erased. I searched archives, records, death notices. The Whitmores hadn't vanished. They'd imploded. Lawsuits,
I've gathered everything I
scandals
could find.
buried by
This is more
settlements,
complex than
a
I
final
imagined,
legal
but we're
battle
close.
that split the family
The
permanently.
situation is serious.
The mansion
But we have a strong
abandoned
case.
not because
I understand.
of
I'm ready.
poverty, but
Good.
shame.
We'll proceed.
And the
The
child?
situation is
He
serious.
survived,
But we have a strong
changed
case.
his name,
I understand. I'm
lived
ready.
quietly,
Good. We'll
died
proceed.
modestly.
I've
No
gathered everything I could
inheritance,
find.
No
This is more
acknowledgement.
complex than I imagined,
That night,
but we're
I
close.
stood in the mansion's main hall,
I've gathered everything I could
listening
find.
to the emptiness.
This is more complex than
What
I
was
imagined,
I supposed
but
to
we're
do
close.
with this? The developer
I've
would
gathered
flip
everything
the
I
property,
could find.
the safe
This is more
would
complex
eventually
than
be
I imagined,
discovered,
but we're close.
lawyers would descend, the
The
story
situation
would
is
be
serious.
reduced to
But we have a
headlines
strong
and
case.
asset lists.
I understand. I'm ready.
But something
We'll
about
proceed.
that felt wrong.
The situation is
Cleaning
serious.
teaches
But we have
you
a
this.
strong case.
What you
I
leave
understand. I'm ready.
untouched
Good.
still
We'll
leaves
proceed.
a mark.
The situation
made a
is
decision.
serious.
But we have a
I
strong
contacted
case.
a lawyer,
I understand.
not
I'm
to
ready.
claim anything,
Good. We'll proceed.
but to reveal
The mansion is
everything.
ready. Go on
The
in.
journals,
Thank you.
the
We're ready.
films, the
Wow,
records.
Mom, it's
I
huge.
insisted
is.
the
Stay close.
forgotten heir's surviving family be located. It took weeks. When they arrived, a middle-aged woman and her daughter, they looked like ordinary people. No designer clothes,
Come on, sweetie.
no
Let's sit down.
practiced confidence,
Okay, Mommy.
just
These
curiosity
journals might have
and
answers.
guarded
What does
hope.
it say?
We sat at the
This
mansion's
passage
old
here,
dining table,
it
now clean
explains the
enough to
connection.
reflect light again.
Yes, I see it
I
now.
served coffee
changes
from my
everything.
thermos. My mother would have approved. The woman read Eleanor's journal with trembling hands. She always wondered, she whispered, why her father never talked about his family. Tears fell, not for the money, but for the truth. The wealth was theirs by law, but what they took first were the stories. They asked me why I didn't keep anything. I shrugged. I clean things, I said. I don't own them. Before they left, the woman pressed something into my hand, a small envelope. Please, she said, for your son. Inside was a check big enough to breathe easier, but not enough to forget who I was. I accepted it, not as payment, as connection. The mansion was eventually restored, not as a private residence, but a community space. A library,
This place has such a warm,
gathering
inviting
hall,
feel now.
a place
Absolutely,
for
the
shared
renovation really
meals
brought it
and
back to
music
life.
again.
It's wonderful.
On opening
This
day,
place has such
I
a
watched
warm, inviting
children
feel
run
now.
across
Absolutely, the
same
renovation
floors
really
where
brought it back to
silence
life.
once
It's wonderful.
ruled. Someone played the piano, sloppy, joyful, alive. My mop leaned against the wall. I smiled, because in the end, the greatest inheritance wasn't gold hidden behind stone walls. It was the reminder that families are built in moments, not mansions. That dignity lives in work done quietly, and that even the most abandoned places can become homes again if someone is willing to clean away the dust and listen to what remains.